Hey guys, Jamster here. So this is a different style of vlog, isn't it? It's one of those walking around style of vlogs. I'm taking my dog for a walk, and holy crap, that sun is just gonna be blinding. But anyway, I thought this would be a different way to do the vlog than before. I don't really know how it'll turn out. I mean, the phone camera seems pretty decent, so at least the camera quality is not going to be as bad as my webcam. But we're out in the in a place that is pretty cool. It's in the suburb I live in. It's like a sort of sports oval place where the dogs can roam free, and they don't mind the dogs, to be honest, because they're pretty good fertilizers. They just roam around, and they also scare off all the you know, all the crappy animals that we have in Australia, like snakes. There's just so many dogs. If I was a snake, I would not want to come here. You'd probably get slaughtered instantly. But I'll show you the dog. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not even sure if you can see her. But she's walking up in the distance there. Misty! There she is. So, you know, we've got Misty there. I don't actually know if you guys can hear me very well, but I'm hoping you can. But yeah, we're just walking about. I mean, you can barely see my face, and it's probably a bit windy as well. That's fine. Yeah, so there wasn't a video out yesterday when you're watching this, I guess, or on Saturday. Or for the rest of the world, it's pretty much always going to be Friday, I believe. You know, because it's just the way it is. Oh, some of these things. Oh boy, I won't show that. Yeah, this vlog is probably a little bit awkward. Misty, maybe you can see her in the distance there. You kind of can. She's sort of podding about. It's behind me, just in case you didn't see her before. I don't know what she's doing. She's still following. She's a pretty good dog. She's pretty old as well now. She's like almost 13 or 14. Which is pretty funny. Not funny, but it's been a long time since, you know, I barely remember, like, you know, actually she's always been small, so it's not like it's been crazy. But yeah, I should probably change. Ow, it's actually surprisingly hot. Misty's still podding about. The only bad thing about the dog parks like this is some dogs can be very aggressive, and because everyone's off leash, you get that issue where one or two dogs just are violent. Misty, come here. And Misty happens to be one of them. She's not horrible, but she bloody well will just viciously go after a dog. Come here. Let's see. Can we just leash you up for a second? Because you are not good when it comes to this. It's probably like an awkward view, but it has to be done. And I guess it's also like I'm sort of slightly nervous about the idea of there being other people around. That's probably the only reason I haven't really done these. But I guess you have to. This is the first time for everything, isn't it? So, you know. But yeah, that little thing there, if I can get on camera, she will literally go against anything. It doesn't matter how big you are. She'd probably take on an elephant, and she wouldn't give a shit. She's an insane, whatever the fuck it is. But it's not a dog. Well, it is a dog, but like, she's actually like taken on quite large dogs. Like, she's gone how to go at them, and the big dogs just run away and just cower in fear. It's really weird. And she's a surprisingly well-trained killer without anyone telling her how to do it. She's managed to kill many animals that have just hopped into our backyard. So if you're, you know, I mean, it's probably not the worst thing. I mean, she's killed quite a few things that you really wouldn't want around, like rats. But she has managed to kill like things you don't want her to kill, like birds, possums, all sorts of things like that. I know that in America, possums are considered more of a pest. But in Australia, not so much. Although they can be a nuisance when they get in your house, into the roofs and stuff. Then they're annoying. How long? It gives me a nice little timer. Normally, actually, I suppose I can see that when I'm doing my other vlogs. But yeah, it's sort of a different style, isn't it? I don't know how it will go. I really don't. It's also hard to sort of look at the camera and still go. I mean, if I put the camera like here, then I can, because it's sort of like I've got to look at where I'm going. Jesus, Misty. She's sort of pulled on my arm. That's why I'm holding on the other hand, which is not the best, because I'm not as... It's yeah, you can... Occasionally you'll see my sort of finger slip into view. Yeah. Maybe I could... Hang on, let's see if I can try this. There we go. That should be better. You're getting a lot of awkward, like, close-ups of my face. But anyway, has to happen at some point. But, you know, yeah. I mean, I think there's probably some interesting stuff going on. Geez, that sun. It's bloody bright. But it's a fun... I don't mind this, actually. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, then again, there's not many people around, so I'm not, you know, self-conscious too much. Although, we might just, you know, pot around this little area for a bit. This place is interesting. We probably won't go the normal path, because, I mean, if you've never been to Australia, you'll probably think we're insane. Because there seems to be this sort of idea that in Australia, we have a lot of deadly animals. And, well, actually, it's true, but what I mean is that the deadly animals are just everywhere. Which is also true, but you don't really run into them that much. But I think if you lived somewhere else in the world and you heard that I was going to walk down that path, you'd probably think that we're clinically insane, because, well, it just doesn't look like the kind of path you'd want to walk around when there are just basically deadly animals everywhere. The only thing I've ever really, well, I've actually come close to death by an animal in Australia a few times. Not too often to like sharks or crocodiles. I have encountered them when I've gone up in North Queensland a few times, but they're never really an issue. But snakes you can run into quite easily. I've actually stood on a red-bellied black snake, which I believe is one of the most deadly snakes in Australia. I don't really remember. I stood on it, sort of freaked out because it moved. I thought it was just a stick. And then I forgot about it. I'd rather not think about it. But this sort of area is pretty cool. It's like a creek, but it's not always full. Because obviously, you know, in Australia we get a lot of rain and then we get no rain. And it just creates these sort of nice places within suburbs. Like this one. Like this is in the middle, where I live, which is Brisbane City, if you weren't aware. So yeah, we had the, you know, the Brisbane floods. So that whole park that I just walked through was one of the worst places you could go during those floods. It flooded probably like from where I was standing, it was like the water level was probably another 3 meters above me. But this little park area, pretty sweet. And I really like this little thing. I'm just trying to... Sorry, Misty. I'm just trying to show it. So that there, this is sort of the view. You know, it's your typical sort of bushland. I guess maybe some people call it woodland. I don't know if it's really that, but it's a pretty nice place. And it's in the middle. Like, I don't know if other, like how it is in America or any other places. But, I mean, imagine the further you are from a city. Like, I'm not super close, but we're still relatively close to Brisbane City. Then again, Brisbane isn't big. So, you know, like, we've got like 2 million people, I think, living in Brisbane. And then, like, the largest city in America or something's like 30 or 40 million, which is, like, bigger than Australia's population. Yeah. But we get nice places like this. I'm not sure if the camera does it justice, but it's pretty cool. I think I'm sort of overselling it a bit, but it is quite relaxing walking around here. It's also a rainforest type environment, so it's very humid, but it's also quite cool. But that is what Queensland is. Queensland is just a humid place where anything can go wrong. But fortunately there's nothing deadly. The only thing that sucks is when you walk down these pathways, if you're the unlucky traveller who decides to come down here first in the mornings, you're going to be the one to have to deal with all the spiders that decide to set up webs just about everywhere. I'm sort of hoping that we actually see some sort of wildlife. It doesn't look like we will, but this is not an issue. I mean, I don't really know where on earth this path leads. I haven't gone down every single... Sorry, Misty. Jesus. I stood on a stick and it sort of flicked onto her. But there is a reason why she's still on the leash at the moment. It's because obviously, as much as it's relatively safe on the pathways, if she runs off into a bush or whatever, she's not going to have much fun there. But yeah, if this is pretty close to the city for where we are. It's a pretty nice place. There's a few suburbs around Brisbane that are like this, that just have these nice, lovely bushwalks right within them. I mean, there's also Mount Coot-tha. So if you know anything about Brisbane, that's basically just a national park, which is, you know, got hundreds of those. Oh boy, I did hear something move, but I think we're fine. One of the that's I don't know, like, I'm always overly cautious with these things, so if I hear something move, I always take a while to investigate to make sure that it's not a snake or anything. It's typically just a lizard that just knocks about a leaf or something. But, yeah. Well, I mean, this seems like the kind of place that just something horrible could happen, but it's not that thick of a bushland. It's like if you kind of... Sorry for the abrupt cut there, guys. I unintentionally hit the maximum file size. We're still in this same place, but I'll have to sort of wrap this video up pretty quickly. So I don't know how long the previous sort of segment was until the video just abruptly ended, but you know, Jesus, it's getting like really overgrown and stuff. Misty, you fine? Ooh, no, yeah, she's fine. She's like a cat. She freaks out too easily. At least I think that's what cats do. Okay, she doesn't want to move anymore. So yeah, this has been a different kind of vlog. If you did like it, please give a like and subscribe. Also let me know by liking, because I definitely will do it. And we'll end with, if I can get her. Jeez, I don't know if I even filmed her before. But there we go, there's Misty. Hopefully you can still hear me. She's panting on like a crazy dog. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.